JT.
Hello. Isn't that right? Did it on
Hello.
Hello. Welcome to the Review, a show where two small-town dudes give your big, dumb opinions.
In the sunken place.
I am Troy to the Max Extreme.
I'm also JT3K.
In the sunken place.
In the sunken place.
Today we are revisiting Jordon Peele's first big screen directorial debut.
Yeah. When we talked about Get Out!
Get Out! In this flashback episode.
It gets worse every time I say it.
Does. So, Us just recently came out, so with that we thought we'd dive back in to see how Get Out stacked up and what we thought of it when it came out.
Yeah, I went back and listened to our review of this, and it's pretty interesting because this is based off of our first viewing of Get Out. I don't think I even saw it a second time when we reviewed it. And going back and watching it a second time, it is... I miss so much shit.
I think by the time we reviewed this too, we were teasing that we were going to review Get Out for a while.
Yeah, because we couldn't... We were just like, well, we're gonna review it. We just don't know when.
Right.
And then I think it was like something where like I brought up some dumb idea, and you were like, I'm not watching that. It's like, okay, well then, surprise, Get Out!
Oh yeah, it was like some dumb Netflix movie or whatever. It's
I
like,
couldn't think of anything.
Get Out.
Yeah, it's like fuck it, Get Out.
But other than that, I think we didn't. I don't think I ended up even seeing it until it was available for VOD.
Yeah.
So I missed it in the theaters completely.
Yeah.
So that's what we're kind of waiting to. Because I think you threatened that you were just going to review with Neil and when I'm not here many times.
Yeah.
But, we eventually did review it and ended up liking it quite a bit.
Of course.
That's a surprise to none of the world. The world pretty much loved it as well.
Yeah.
But this far removed from it, you said you went back and listened to the review.
Yeah, I went back and listened to the review, and I'm still... When we reviewed it, I'm still basing it off of the first time I saw it, which I didn't pick up on a lot of things as I did before. And then watching it a second time, there's so many things that I missed in that first scene, especially when he's talking to the dad, where it's just like, he's just hinting at all these things that his father did before him, that like the people that end up being the grandparents like exhibit throughout the whole movie. Mm-hmm. I think even like foreshadows how he himself dies. Like he talks about like something like grabbing something by the horns and then he gets killed by deer horns.
Yeah.
Where it's like there's so much in that first scene that like it's like foreshadowing the entire movie. Like it's so masterfully done. Like I gave it in this review, I gave it an A, but like after I saw it the second time, it's like a full-on A+, because this movie's fucking... Like, there's just so much shit that you miss when you first watch it, that you need... Like, you almost need to know how everything plays out to really appreciate the beginning of this movie.
Sweet deal. I actually haven't gone back and watched it again, but I think I've been trying to get sense, like, if I see it, to get C Danger to try to watch it, but she's just not a fan of like horror or anything like that.
It's not even really that horrific.
No, it's not. But I there are some like unsettling moments.
Oh yeah,
in
for
it.
sure.
But I kind of want to get her to see it to see what her take is. 'Cause I think she'd actually end up liking it quite a bit.
And we do go into a lot of things here. I think you even bring up a alternate ending that you watched.
Oh yeah,
that was really interesting.
Yeah.
So, yeah, check out our review of Get Out coming up pretty soon, because it is good.
'Tis good. So, why don't we just jump right into the review?
Why don't we?
This intro was fun.
It was a good time. I had fun.
Boy, did I. So, why don't we all have fun, jump into what we thought of Get Out, and enjoy the rest of the episode.
Starting right now.
We sprung it on you like nobody's business. Get Out.
Yeah.
is coming at you right now. Got some stats, JT.
Drop
Going
it.
over them.
Drop it on
Dropping
me,
them
Tra.
stats. Had a production of a meager $4.5 million.
This is a Blumhouse film.
That is true. Domestically made $175.4 million, and worldwide $250.1 million.
It made a shit ton for its super small fucking budget.
It was made with no money and made a buku percentage.
Yeah.
Amount of money.
Mm-hmm.
Rotten Tomatoes has that at a 99%. IMDb has that at a 7.8 out of 10. And OK.com has it at a 50%.
What's OK.com?
It's a movie review site to tell if it's okay for, I think it's Mormon children.
Oh my god! These weird fucking.
I can't remember.
And they gave it a 50% for Mormon children?
Granted, it only had 2 voters, and one said it was great, and one said it was not good. So it met in the middle, and it said it was 50%. But I don't know if it's Mormon or not, because the site I was looking at before was for Mormon stuff. And I went on to another one because it didn't give like a real score. It just like had paragraphs about the movie or whatever.
Yeah.
OK.com gives it a 50%. I imagine somewhere we'll meet in the middle. Between the 50%.
I just want to become a voter of this site so I can just like throw it off.
I tried.
The
and
power's yours.
I tried to like throw it off and be like, okay, opinion spoiler.
Yeah.
Thumbs up. I tried to give it a thumbs up.
Yeah.
And it said I had to register for the site. I'm like, I'm not going to do that.
Damn it.
But there we go. So, Get Out. Jordon Peele's writer and director debut feature film.
Big debut.
Big debut. Went off like gangbusters.
Yeah.
People can get enough of this film, JT. JT, what happened in Get Out?
Tomatoes. Out the shit. I gotta remind myself, because it's been a while since I've seen it. Did not get a chance to see it over the week. Okay. But I do remember a lot of it. We center on a young man by the name of Chris Washington, who is going to visit his new girlfriend's parents for the first time, the Armitage family. And while visiting them, kind of gets the sense that things are not right, which leads into some very horrific incidences.
That's true. That's a great synopsis.
Yeah.
Spoiler-free.
Spoiler-free synopsis there.
And we will be doing spoiler-free for a little bit, even though the movie's been out.
Yeah. It just came out on DVD like 2 weeks ago.
Right.
So we don't want to ruin it for the people that have not seen it yet.
Even though it's been out for a while, we'll just do a little spoiler-free review. I thought this movie did an amazing job of like seeing the other side of a horror movie. Yeah. It's always usually like the black guy that dies first or whatever. And in this, it's like, I mean, it's not exactly like that, but it's like seeing like the black guy's perspective in a horror movie where you're just surrounded by white people.
Oh, yeah.
And I loved in the movie that it like has those weird, uncomfortable questions of everybody that's in the movie, asking them stuff about being essentially a black man.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh god, that every question you ask like makes me shudder. And I love, but okay, I'm gonna have this caveat right out front.
Gotcha.
I'm disappointed in myself.
Yeah.
In that I knew the twist of the movie going into it.
Okay.
It didn't ruin the movie for me.
Yeah.
But I think it ruined my experience of the movie.
Yeah.
Because I never thought I was ever going to get around to seeing this movie.
Okay.
So I was like, I'll just kind of read about it. It's been out for a while. And then, like, I'm like, oh, that's really interesting.
Yeah.
And it still is. The
Yeah.
plot of the movie and the twist of the movie
Yeah.
is very interesting.
Yeah.
Way out there.
Yeah.
But I wish I didn't know. Because I
Yeah.
want to see it through those eyes rather than, like, knowing what was going to happen. And then you see these questions arise, and you know what they're for. So I got to see it almost on a second viewing kind of thing.
Yeah.
Which was great going into it anyway.
Yeah.
But seeing it play out was good. I'll bring up the... anyway, I'm going to let you talk. I got to write down a note.
Okay.
Because it's going to be for us more spoiler stuff.
Okay. Well, when I saw it, like, I had an idea of where it was going to go because people were making such a hype about it in terms of it being about race and, like, how people treat people of the races and stuff. So I kind of had an idea of it going in, but, like, not knowing the extent of it really made it a worthwhile experience.
Sure.
Because you go into it being like, okay, well, maybe they're kind of fashioning... Like, they're kind of, like, fashioning people of, like, black people in, like, this sense. And then you get into it and you're like, yeah, but they're still acting really weird. Like, I don't know why they're... And then you get more and more into it, you're like, oh, shit. Yeah, right. Okay, I can see where they're going. And then, like... And I love how they tackle it more, like, less from, like, a blatantly racist sense to, like, a more, like, underlying racist sense. Where you go into it being, like, you don't see black people as like a terrible thing. You see it as more of like, why do they have that and I don't?
Yeah.
Kind of thing.
Yeah.
And then like they kind of like it almost, and it's like in a sense like it doesn't play so much like it plays with race, but it also kind of plays with class too, where you get these people that are so far out of touch where they don't even consider other classes outside of them in general. It's just like, well, this betters me, so I'm going to do this.
Yeah, that's not a huge part in it. Not for me, anyway. It's definitely an undertone.
Yeah.
But it's not like a huge part in it.
I saw it as a pretty big part.
Okay.
But we'll talk about that in spoilers.
Sure. But, I want to talk about this movie more openly, but, like, the movie, in my opinion, is great.
Yeah.
I'm going to get my grade at the end. But I enjoyed the movie, and I think you should go and see it.
Definitely
for
go
sure.
check it out. It's really interesting in it. Like, I saw this by myself. Like, Molly didn't even see this, so like I've been like sitting on all this information. See, you know how I just by one woman alone,
right.
How I'm busting the seams. But
yeah, right.
it's really interesting, and it really makes you think, especially coming from two white guys in like a small town.
Right.
Like, it really makes you think about stuff like that. It's definitely worth checking out for sure.
Yeah. I would definitely say it's worth buying for your collection.
Oh,
If you have a movie collection, I would say get it.
For sure.
I rented it because I needed something really quick.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I would look into buying this.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay. Spoiler talk, JT.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed everybody's character arc in this movie.
Yeah.
Because even though, like, all the white... What's their last name? The Armitage family comes off really, like, friendly. And, like, all of them turn out to be dicks.
Yeah. I know. I love... Because, like... It totally struck me as, like, a horror movie where... Like, there's a lot of horror movies where, like, you get to a point where you're like, why didn't you just leave at this point?
Right.
And you still stuck around. Like, you're dumb.
Yeah.
But, like, every time something came up, like, he always had, like, his girlfriend there, like, kind of, like, backing him up, where you're like, well, you still have his support.
Right.
And, like, that's what I love about it. Like, the one scene that I love the most in this whole film was when he knows shit's fucked up, and he wants to get out of there immediately.
Yeah.
And, like, even though he knows, like, his girlfriend's still kind of, like, maybe shady.
Right.
Like, she's still acting like he's trying to help him. And it's, like, he still has a support system behind him. So it's, like, they're, like, legitimately, like, surrounding him. And he's like, get the keys. Please get the keys. Let's get the fuck out of here. And she's like, I'm looking. And then she's just like, oh, these? And you're like, then like
what a bitch.
All the air just like leaves you like, oh, now he's officially on his own.
Right.
And that's like my favorite scene out of the whole fucking movie because it's
Yeah.
like you go from like you have this rock, this support system behind you at the all times, and she like plays it off really good too.
Right.
Like even in like they have these pretty touching scenes where like they're just by each other where they're like I know this isn't what you expected, but I'm here for you.
Right.
And then that one thing where she's just like she goes completely like stone faced where you're like now he's on his own and he is fucked.
Yeah, and it sucks that like he wanted to leave before that too.
Yeah.
And like there's no way he can like get out of there. He is openly trapped.
Yeah.
He's got free reign of the premises, but he can't get out of there.
Yeah. They've told him multiple times he could leave, but he's just being there for her.
Right.
Because he wants to like I've been in that situation. Like legit
Not in the same situation.
Well, not in that exact same situation, but like not to give out too much, but my ex, like her parents were super into Fox News.
Ugh.
So I would like spend the night at her place with her parents.
Bill O'Reilly's
And I wake
body.
up and like her parents would be like sitting over me watching Fox News, and they'd have this weird fucking story about like how people should give up more, like they're taking our gun rights, like shit where I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? And she'd be like, can you and like her mom would be like, can you fucking believe this? Like why would they try and take our guns? And I'm like,
oh god.
but I'm there for her. Like I'm not gonna fucking
out.
yeah. I need to get the fuck out because I'm like, and like her dad was this big fucking redneck dude, and I'm like,
oh god.
like they're just trying to fucking get me to say this fucking crazy shit, and I'm like,
Yeah.
god damn it. So it's like I can see where like someone who's black dating a white chick, like being in this situation would be uncomfortable. Like more uncomfortable than that, but like I've been in that situation where it's like you're in a very, very right wing household.
Sure.
And you're like, I don't want to be here.
Yeah. Even though I can't completely relate to like Chris Washington's like character.
Yeah.
Like he plays it off so well in the movie where like
someone you could see yourself acting how he acts.
Because he even asks in the very beginning, like, you told your family I'm black, right? And she's like, that's not a big deal. He's like, okay.
It is.
And so, like, he goes and visits, and she's like, I'm going to tell you right now, my dad was really in Obama. He'll probably talk about Obama or whatever. But he just plays it up like, this happens to me all the time. Like, this is not a big deal about, like, any of this shit.
Yeah.
Because, like, I'm a black man living in modern society. I just learned to deal with this shit. Like, that's how it happened. And, like, you see that, like, through different aspects of the movie. And I love how he plays it. Like, even, like, the girlfriend is like, can you believe that? Can you believe my family did? And he's like, yeah. Yeah, I can.
Even like, the scene in the beginning when they get pulled over. Like, I've heard, like, I have friends, like, black friends of mine that have told stories where, like, they've had friends sitting next to them being like, I'm going to say something. Like, don't you fucking say a thing. Because they're going to put that shit, like, as much as they're going to put that shit on you, they're going to put that shit just as much on me.
Yeah.
Because, like they look out for that shit.
Right.
Like, when they're like, oh, why didn't you see his ID? Why? Because he's black? And then it's like, great, now I'm in this, too. Now you're putting me. Yeah, now you're making me a part of the situation.
Another great aspect of this movie that I really liked was Chris's friend.
Oh my god!
I fucking loved his
Anytime
friend.
he showed up, like, it's hilarious.
I know. And they showed him just the perfect amount. Like, any more of them, I'd be like, okay, I'm kind of sick of him or whatever.
Yeah.
But I loved him because he was like comedic relief, and he was like almost the catalyst for the plot. Like, he moved the plot along.
He was like the audience member that was getting a phone call from him, where it's like, get the fuck out of there, man! What are you doing? Like, no, I'm just sitting around. Like, son of a bitch! I'm watching this movie. You're only getting fucked. I'm watching everything that's happening so far. You're getting fucked.
Yeah. Who plays the mother in this?
Catherine Keener.
Yeah, I really love the hypnotizing scene in this movie. Like, it
for being a very low budget film, like all the hypnotism stuff and the sunken place shit looked really fucking cool.
Yeah, and it's probably just a simple effect or whatever.
Yeah.
But, like, I thought it was really well done. Like, when she said, like, now sink into the floor, and he's like, and then you just see, like, the perspective, like, his vision just fall away from him, and he's just falling into nothing. I'm like, holy shit, this is freaking me the fuck out. I am like, this is nutso.
Yeah.
I love that. It was really well done.
Yeah, like, it legit plays on, like, being there but not there.
Right.
And in a sense where you're, like, you're falling. Like, you're just constantly falling.
Yeah. And that looked amazing. And not only did just that shot look amazing, but, like, the cinematography in this is very well done.
Yeah.
Like, there is a bunch of amazing just establishing shots and, like, just long cuts of things that, like, let it play out that I really appreciated in this movie. And then there was just other things that I also really enjoyed. I really liked the interaction between the housekeeper and the greenskeeper with Chris. That was really well done. And, like,
because you know there's something up with them, but you can't tell exactly what until they actually reveal who they are.
Yeah, it reminded me a lot of almost like Psycho a little bit. Like, just that, like, Psycho is like the Alfred Hitchcock version of Psycho, or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, does a lot of stuff where it just builds and builds and builds until there's finally a release. And they kind of did that with like Chris, like watching the housekeeper a lot, even like when he was watching through his camera through the window or whatever, and saw her like messing with her hair, and then she like turns and looks, and he like pretends he wasn't looking and like looks away, and then ends up looking back the window, she's not there or whatever. And that one scene where he goes out for a smoke outside, and then like sees the light turn on in the room, like in the house, and like the housekeeper is not looking out the window, but it looks like she is, but she's like fixing her hair in the reflection of the window. And then he turns to look in the woods, and the greenskeeper is like running at him. And that reminded me of like the cop following the chick in Psycho, like, where it's just like tension building, and you're like, oh fuck, what's gonna just fucking do something to like break the tension. And it like freaked me the fuck out. And then just have it like him diverge at whatever. And it's never, like, talked about again. It's just like, what the fuck was that? Like, just unnerving shit to build you towards the end.
Yeah.
It was really well done.
Yeah, and, like you get to a point where, like, you don't... Because, like, when you get to the end, you find out that there's these operations happening where, like, these people are, like, replacing their conscience in, like, other people's bodies.
Right.
And it's just, like, it's becoming a thing where it's like, well, black is the new in thing, so we're just putting ourselves in black people because that's what they look cool.
Yeah.
And but then, like, you like, think back to it and you're realizing, like, because, like, they do the whole thing with, like, the camera flash where, like, you can tell, like, it's not a completely 100% proof operation because they still kind of have control over their own bodies.
Right. They're
it's
still in there somewhere.
Yeah. So you like you think back to all these scenes, and it's like, how much control do they have? Like, you think back to that groundskeeper running, and then out of nowhere he just kind of turns and like goes somewhere else. Where you're like, okay, was that him like repossessing his body and trying to run away, and then like out of nowhere, like him like coming to and then going back to where he was? Like, it's great. Like, it's a really fun to list. Like just like think about.
Yeah.
Like how the maid kept unplugging his phone.
Yeah.
Like, you can kind of think about, well, maybe she was trying to, like, gonna call for help and then, like, got stopped right away. And then, like, the grandma didn't really think about unplugging the phone back in.
Right.
Like, every time he went back to his phone, it was unplugged.
Yeah. And, like, even though I knew the ending to the movie, I didn't know, like, some side aspects of it, but I did guess that the grandma and grandpa of the family were the groundskeeper and the housekeeper.
Yeah.
Like, I did figure that out, like, just guessed it in the movie, and that ended up being right.
Yeah.
And, like, when they had that scene about unplugging the phone, like, I couldn't tell the way it was played, like, how it was, what side it was going. Like, I thought that the housekeeper started crying because I'm thinking like the grandma had complete control.
Yeah.
And like that Chris thought that she actually was like the grandma fooled him that she was like a black woman.
Yeah.
And like she tricked him, and that's what she became like over like emotive or whatever, and started crying or whatever. Like, I'm doing it like this, like that's the way I took it. I don't know if that's the way you took it or not.
No, I kind of took it as like the operation's not like 100%.
Okay,
and they're still in there, even though they're in the sunken place. Like they're still trying to crawl to get out.
Yeah.
And like every instance is like when they get to that emotional instance where they have a chance to actually kind of break free, they try their hardest, and they're like that's them fighting that person back.
Oh yeah, I think I liked yours better than mine. But yeah,
because when they come out the most is the camera flash, and like camera flashes is when people get thrown off the most. It's like when someone flashes a camera in your face, like oh shit, and then when that happens, that's their big opportunity to be like, fuck, now I can dive up and like try and warn somebody.
Right.
Until they catch their bearings, and then like pull them back down to the sunken place and then take back over.
Right. Like that entree guy or whatever.
Yeah.
That was really good. One of my favorite scenes in the movie is like right before you were talking about with the car keys or whatever.
Yeah.
Is when Chris goes into like his girlfriend's closet and finds that box of photos.
Yeah.
And is going through and he's like, she dated a lot of black people. And then like ends up seeing the housekeeper and the greenskeeper in there at the very end.
She saw Andre in there too, right?
Yeah, the green. Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, the guy that was with the other chick.
He's like, what the fuck? And I was seeing that and I'm like, what the fuck is going on? Fuck
and like even
bitch.
when I saw that, like I was like, she played it off so well where I was like, well, maybe she's just being naive about it, where she was like, she's actually is like really into black people, and it's like she's just bringing these, and then it's like, oh fuck, they keep breaking up with me, like what's happening?
Yeah.
Like I was still trying to be on her side because she played it so well.
Yeah, but that many, there was like 20 photos.
I know, but it's like it's like I want to, because she plays it so well. Like I just want to believe her. And then when she's going through the keys, and I'm like when I saw that, I was like, okay, she's probably playing them. And then like she's going through the keys, maybe not. And then she finally does it, and it's like a punch of the gut where she's like, oh yeah, these keys, and just goes totally stone faced.
Right.
Like that's a fucking awesome reveal where it's like they give you enough evidence to be like, she's full of shit, but you're still on her side because of how she plays it.
Right. And then she just turns into a complete psychopath.
Oh my god, when she calls the friend,
yeah,
I love that scene
and
so
she's
much.
Like emoting so much with the voice, but just sitting there like a robot.
Yeah,
I'm like, holy shit. And at the very end, like, we're in spoilers, but like the very end of the movie where Chris is like trying to like kill her, and she just starts smiling, like when he's trying to strangle her to death. I'm like, this bitch is fucking scary as shit.
I loved it so much.
That freaked me the fuck out. I thought that was scary as shit. One of the scariest points in the movie for me was like him trying to like strangle her to death, and she like has no emotion on her face, and then she starts smiling. I'm like, nope, fuck that. I hate this. This is too scary. This is scary as shit.
Also, I love how the dad is played by the main villain, Billy Madison.
Yeah, but I really liked him in this movie.
He was really good.
Yeah, he's super charming.
Like, he legit plays it as like one of those liberal guys where he was like, oh yeah, what's up, my man?
Right? I voted for Obama. I'd vote for a third term. Oh my god! But yeah, super. Dude, like
this
creative.
This movie is so full of like those scenes where like you're not entirely sure what's going on. Yeah. But you know some shit's going, like the fucking, like the weird silent auction scene.
Oh yeah.
When they're off on that walk and he's just like pointing at people and like putting fingers up, and you're like, some shit's going down. I don't know. He's got the sternest look on his face.
Yeah.
And he's doing like the fucking like weird like fingers and then pointing at people, and you're like.
Then it pans out and you see like a portrait of Chris behind him.
Yeah, and you're like,
what the fuck is happening?
Like, they reveal things in the coolest way in this, where you're like, you're not entirely sure what's going on, but you know something's fucked.
Yeah. Oh my god. Well, obviously we're glowing about this movie. Is there anything you have any like gripes about the movie at all?
I honestly can't think of anything that like, because like I'm trying to think of like any like instances where it's slowed down, but it's actually pretty short. It's like only like an hour and a half.
Yeah.
And like, no, I was pretty enthralled throughout. Like, I can't really think of a scene where I was like, they could really go without this.
Yeah.
Like, it seemed all the way through, I was pretty into it.
Yeah, I don't think there's anything that I could think of that they could cut. But, like, I guess it was like... I think it came to being like, it was overhyped for me.
Okay.
And it was like gonna be like the greatest fucking thing in the world when I watched it.
Yeah.
And like it was, I really enjoyed the movie, but when I watched it, I was like, yeah, this is good, but I don't think it's like as good as like everyone's talking it up.
Yeah.
So I don't know. But now that I'm talking, like, I don't know if there's anything that I would change. I really like the movie a lot.
I'm in the same boat as you. Like, I went into it and I fucking loved it. But I wouldn't say it was overhyped. It was just like, I don't think it wasn't a movie geared to me.
Well,
That's what I'll put it as. Like, I loved it and I appreciate it for what it was. But it didn't like strike a chord with me where I was like, it stuck with me for a long fucking time. Like, I appreciate it for what it was, and I fucking loved it. But I can't... I wasn't, like... Like, I thought about it, and I did, like, think about it for a while, like, how much, like, I liked it, and, like, all this stuff in there, but, like, it wasn't, like... With, like, a Logan, where I was like, I can see myself becoming this old person, and, like, knowing that I'm not the same person that I'm going to be.
Right.
I can't see myself being, like... a black guy dating a white woman and being like put in this situation.
Right. But at the same time, like, it was directed so well that almost anyone can see like themselves in Chris's shoes.
Yeah.
Like, you don't have to be a black man.
Yeah, they do a really good job
that.
of putting you in that situation where you're like, man, like, I know something's fucked up, but like they do just enough where it's like, this is fucked up, but just enough where I would not leave.
Sure.
Like, it's very uncomfortable. I don't like being here, but I won't leave.
Sure.
Like, they do just enough of that to the point where when it gets to the point where like he's like, let's get the fuck out of here, it's past too late. Way past too late.
And it wouldn't even have mattered anyway in the end because the chick was going to make him stay anyway.
Yeah.
Did you see the alternate ending?
I didn't.
Okay, the alternate ending.
Oh, shit.
Because when I rented it on Amazon, they had the alternate ending after the credits.
Oh, cool.
It's completely different.
Ooh, I want to hear this.
Okay, so the original ending is like the shootout, like with the main the girlfriend and the greenskeeper.
Yep.
Who ends up being the grandpa.
Yep.
And then there's a police car shows up. It's his friend.
Yeah, it's a friend, yep.
And he gets him out of there, and like it's a hero's story or whatever, and then they live happily ever after or whatever. Yep. The original ending that Jordon Peele wanted to change was he strangles the girlfriend to death.
Yeah.
The greenskeeper is there dead. The police car rolls up, and it's the real police.
Oh, shit.
And all they see is this black guy who's killed these two people and burned down this house.
Oh.
And so they take him to jail.
Oh, fuck.
And, like, so he goes to jail and talks to his TSA friend, like, through the glass or whatever. And I don't know what they said, because I just heard the Jordon Peele commentary over top of it.
Yeah.
On reasons why he wanted to change it. But, like...
This is the one that he wanted?
This is the original ending that they reshot.
Okay.
And so, like, the police come, they arrest him, he goes to jail, talks to his TSA friend, and then goes just back to his jail cell. But I guess the gist of it was that, like, he feels better about himself, because he went to go save the housekeeper, because he never went to go save his mom.
Okay.
When he, like... hit her with the car.
That's right.
He goes back to go save her because he never went to go save his mom after he figured out found out that she died like 11 years ago or whatever.
God damn, that's really good.
Yeah, it was good, and it's almost too real. And that's why Jordan Peele wanted to like change it, because he's like, we live in Obama America right now, and I feel like we need something lighter, and I wanted him to be a hero of the story rather than end up being a tragedy.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I like both endings, and I appreciate the way he changed it.
Yeah.
And wanted him to make, because like that would be very depressing.
Yeah.
Very too real.
Oh yeah.
For him to just go through all this shit and then be put in jail for it.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh fuck, that's too heavy.
Yeah.
So
God
that
damn,
was the
that's
alternate.
good.
It's really it is a really good ending.
I kind of want to see it now. I want to see if I can like look it up on YouTube or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, it's good. Yeah, it's a really good ending. And I that's what I thought it was going to go when I saw the cop car show up. And I'm like, "Oh fuck, the police are here?" Because you see him call the police like,
yeah, that's right.
He's trying to get away.
That's what I kind of thought too.
And then he kills two. Well, he doesn't even kill the greenskeeper. He kills himself. The greenskeeper.
Yeah, the greenskeeper kills himself because he shoots her and then kills himself, but then she's still alive.
Right. And so like Chris tries to strangle her to death because she's still fucking up and kicking or whatever, and she's like the most evil bitch in the world. But then I guess it doesn't really look good when your hands are around her neck and you're a black guy strangling a white woman and the police show up.
Yeah, yeah.
So yeah, I can see why it was changed, but it was a brilliant ending. But I'm glad it was changed because like it would have been like it would have been way too sad to see that happen.
Yeah.
But yeah. Anyway, what would you grade this movie, JT?
I'm gonna give it a solid A, just based on the fact. Well, like, I'm not gonna give it an A+ because like it doesn't have that resonating feeling with me.
Yeah.
But I fucking love this film.
Yeah.
Like it's really good, and like coming from like a white, like small town kid that has not had to experience this at all.
Yeah.
It still did enough to put me in those shoes and see, like, what that shit is like to go through. Especially like I've heard so many stories about like people like black dudes going with their white girlfriends to these like white like socialite parties where you just feel like the odd man out.
Right.
Where they're like measuring you up. Like that's exactly what they do. It's like how much do you like lift? Like who's asked you that?
Yeah.
In a fucking party.
Yeah.
But like that's almost kind of like how I kind of see this as like just as much a race film as it is like a class film, where they don't even see themselves doing something bad when they're like putting themselves in these other people's bodies. It's just like, well, I got enough money to pay for it, so I'm gonna do it.
Yeah.
Like they don't really fucking consider that.
Yeah. I mean, I see it definitely as a race film.
Yeah.
But like a class film, like I just find that like as a plot device more or less. It's not necessarily like I don't put it in that kind of category.
I don't know. I kind of see it because they even like bring up at a certain sense when he's like talking to that one guy where it's like, oh yeah, like black isn't really an issue. Like it just became that issue when like it kind of came to fruition that like people thought that like, oh, black people are more athletic and can lift more. So
sure.
And then it became like a thing where it's like, oh, like black is like they almost treated like black people as like the new gown of like the year. Like
it's
it's so 2017.
It's hot for the season.
Yeah, let's all become black people for this season.
Yeah,
like they kind of treat it like that. Like they don't really consider people outside of their own environment, and like. Yeah, like they adopt these bodies and they don't even know like what they go through or like what kind of culture they are. They just fucking become these people and they're just like, oh, I am the same person I would like seeing that one dude wearing like the fucking weird straw hat and he's like, oh yes, I am here with my with
sipping martinis with a wife that's twice his age or whatever.
Yeah, like that's not their culture. Like that's. So like it's pretty much like adopting like all the cool things of being a black person, but completely throwing their culture away.
Right.
Like it's a really cool way of expressing that by just like having like these white people put themselves in these black people's bodies.
Yeah.
Like it's a really cool way of expressing that.
Yeah, I was teetering on give this movie like last night like a B plus, but I think I liked it more on this conversation, just going back and forth with you.
Yeah.
I would give it like a solid A.
Yeah.
Like it's really good. It's a great horror movie. Like in the last year, I guess there's been a thriving like horror movie genre that's come out, and this is like definitely the ones on one of the top because it's getting high scores from everything,
everywhere it's getting high scores,
and it's rightfully deserved. It's a great movie, and it's necessarily not even really scary. Like if you're like not a horror fan, like this is in the horror genre. But it's not like a slasher film.
No.
There is gory moments near the end.
Yeah.
But very few.
Yeah. There's a lot of scenes that make you feel more uncomfortable than scared.
Yeah.
And I appreciate it for that. Where you're put in these situations where you're like, I just don't want to be. I don't want to be here.
Yeah, the movie will make you feel uncomfortable at points.
Yeah.
But like it's not like a Freddy or Jason movie.
No.
Or it's not slasher-y or bloody or whatever.
But I think it's more effective for that.
Yeah, I completely
you
agree.
feel more like in a social setting as opposed to being like, I'm terrified, I need to leave. Like you're put more in a situation where you're like, okay, this is uncomfortable, but I can deal with this. I can deal with this until you get to a point where you are scared because he is put in this terrible situation, but it's too late for you and for him.
Right. Yeah. So Get Out. Surprise.
Very good. Surprise.
Not a surprise. It was great.
It was great.
So there you have it. Everyone should check out Get Out.
Get Out. Check it out.
Hey, thanks for listening. If you want to join us on social media, do so at Review Pod on Twitter. If you happen to be a Facebooker, do that Review Pod on Facebook. You can find us at our host site at reviewreviewpod.podbean.com, but you don't have to listen to just there. We are also on a multitude of platforms such as Google Podcasts, Alexa devices, Stitcher, and Apple Podcasts. If you happen to be an Apple user, rate and review us there, because if you like the show, that helps other people find the show as well. If you want to write in, do so at reviewreviewpod@gmail.com. Thanks for listening again. We'll see you next time.
And we're off.